Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Today I wanted to talk about a rather funny topic, I suppose. Well, I guess it isn't quite as funny, but it was funny to me when I watched it. So, when Black Adam came out, my initial response was, wow, this movie looks really, really, really okay. And I hadn't intended on watching it, at least not seeing it in theaters. So I didn't see it. And I was bored and happened to have some time on my hands after finishing some homework. So I decided, yeah, sure, why not sacrifice about 2 hours of my time to Black Adam? And I watched it on HBO Max. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, um, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
So the story starts with this place named Kondak, and it's like an old. It's very reminiscent of Mesopotamia. It's a very old Mesopotamia type city. It's in the Middle East, and there's this king who lives there who finds out that there's some sort of like super uh, mineral called Eternium or something like that. And he wants a crown made out of it, and he'll be. So how does he get this mineral mined and such, so he can get his crown made? He uses slave labor and pretty much enslaves all of the citizens of the time. And we focus on not well what we could assume would be Black Adam, because at first the movie doesn't want to tell us, but we assume that it's Black Adam, or Teth Adam as he's called throughout the movie. He's never actually called Black Adam for some reason, even though that's the title of the movie, but whatever. So we focus on this kid, and this kid is like, we should free ourselves. Let's free ourselves from these chains and bondage. And everybody's like, yeah, yeah, we should free ourselves. And then they like all have this uprising, and everybody's like, yeah, this kid's great. So obviously the king won't have any of that. So the king sends his guards after the kid, and the kid is taken into custody, and they're gonna kill the kid. This is all ancient times, so don't worry. This is commonplace. So while they're gonna execute the kid, um, this a magical event happens, and he disappears in front of the eyes of the entire country as he's about to be executed, and he's given the powers of Shazam. Like it, it's weird because Black Adam is supposed to be the antithesis of Shazam, but whatever. They said that he's a hero because he stood up against the people that were oppressing him. So like, yeah, sure, fine, cool. So then we head into the modern day, and we find out that Kondak has had this protector for whatever amount of time, and they've even got a statue of him and stuff. But they haven't seen him for upwards of, I don't know, like thousands of years, I guess. So in this modern age, Kondak has been taken over by like paramilitary organizations, and they're the ones mining for the great Eternium, basically, the that mineral that makes they never really explain what the mineral does. It's just it's magic. It's almost like Black Panther, but worse. Black Panther's got vibranium, and they're like, oh, vibranium is like one of the greatest metals in the world, but at least they kind of explain what vibranium does. Eternium just makes things go fast sometimes, Eternium also is the only thing that hurts Black Adam for some reason. It doesn't really make sense generally. But Eternium is like attributed to that crown, the crown from the beginning where they were saying like, "Oh, it makes you invincible" or whatever. And the king, he made it so he could channel the powers of this demon thing named Sabak, which ends up being uh the main villain of the movie, even though we don't really see or care all that much about Sabak. So then we meet this lady, and her name's Adriana, and she's working with her brother and two other guys to go and find this monolith, I guess is what they call it, to release the prisoner Black Adam, or Teth Adam, who's been kept away for so long. He's been locked away in a prison, or a tomb. It's not a prison yet. They don't find out that it's a prison. Not until later on in the movie. But they think that he's entombed in this monolith, so they go to find him so they can find the crown and him. So to make a long story short, one of the guys on Adriana's team, his name's Ishmael, he reveals that he was never really on her side. He betrays her, right? So he wants the crown so he can take it to the military group. I didn't mention their name earlier, but their name is Intergang, which is one of the worst villain organization names I've ever heard in my life, bro. Like, what is Intergang? But I digress. He says like, "Oh, we have to take the crown for ourselves because the last time Kahndaq had a king, it was strong. Yeah, there was slavery, but we were strong," which is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life come out of a villain's mouth. But anyways, so Black Adam happens to get released, and he has. I will say this: his whole reveal scene where he like comes out and starts electrocuting people and turning them to ash and stuff. You basically get to see his whole rundown of superpowers, and I think it's pretty cool. Like from just a viewer standpoint, I'm no like special movie critic, but I think if you were just to sit down and watch that scene, that's pretty cool.
Light him up.
I see a red door and I want it pink with glass. No colors anymore, I want them to turn black.
I wanna see your face, faded black, black as night, black as gold. I wanna see the sun, blotted out from the sky. I wanna see it faded, 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 faded black. Yeah.
But that's like one of the only really cool scenes in the movie. Now, up until this point in which Black Adam is awakened and he gets out of this tomb that they've visited, the movie wasn't really bad. I mean, it's not like it had time to be bad. It's like the first 15 minutes. But after that point, after the point where he gets out, that's when the movie starts to get bad. So, but see, the problem is because the movie ends up being like almost 3 different movies. So you've got this section of the movie where Black Adam is feeling like remorse because later on in the movie you'll find out that he wasn't the original choice of the Shazam wizards. Originally they chose Black Adam's son, but Black Adam was like, he was being beaten up and about to be killed by his soldiers, and he's pretty much dying. So then his son gives him his powers, and that's how you get Black Adam. But then after his son gives up his powers, his son gets killed, and Black Adam goes to, take vengeance on the king. So, like, that's one movie, right? Then you got the second movie where Black Adam is like, he's a threat. He's a threat to humanity. So who thinks they can handle Black Adam? Amanda Waller, I guess. So she sends Hawkman, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher, bro. Just take a step back and think about it. Hawkman, Atom Smasher, and Cyclone. Now, I'm leaving out Dr. Fate only because I think Dr. Fate is legit, like a very possible threat. Like he could hold his own in a fight against Black Adam. Hey, Pierce Brosnan is a fantastic Dr. Fate. Like he is probably the standout part of the movie, to be honest. But that you got that movie, right? The movie where they're hunting down Black Adam, and Black Adam is like considered a threat to humanity. But then you have a third movie, and I mean, I genuinely think they put too many things in here. But then you have like this third thing that could be a movie where this kid that I mentioned before, Amon, Adriana's son, he kind of plays this, like, I guess, humanizing role for Black Adam. He's supposed to remind Black Adam of his son, right? Like Black Adam's like, oh man, I'm an emotionless revenge monster who blew up an entire empire and then was imprisoned, basically. So he doesn't really have any emotions, which I didn't think was necessarily that bad. I mean, it's not like The Rock is an acting powerhouse, so yeah, I mean, I think it'd be best if he did have Terminator-like qualities. But see, that's what I'm saying. In this section of the movie, Amon plays this like John Connor role to the T-800 or the Terminator. He tells Black Adam like, hey, listen, you've got like really cool powers, dude. Like you should use them for good. You should be Kondok's protector again. And Black Adam's like, I do not care, because he's like, The Rock is a robot, pretty much. He has the acting spectrum of a literal rock. Like it is not very good in this movie. But I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to be great. The Rock is all about pretty much stage presence.
Go ahead.
But it literally is beat for beat the Terminator, specifically Terminator 2, because he's like, oh, you should come up with a catchphrase, like tell them the Men in Black sent you or something like that. And it's cute, right? It's nice. But see, if they would have expounded upon it more, stretched it out a little more, let it be its own movie.
Affirmative.
No. You gotta listen to the way people talk. You don't say affirmative or some shit like that. You say, no problemo. And if someone comes off to you with an attitude, you say, eat me. And if you want to shine them on, it's hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, or later, dickwad. And if someone gets upset, you say, chill out. Or you could do combinations.
Chill out, dickwad.
That's great. See, you're getting it.
No problemo.
Them the men in black sent you.
Well, yes, but not to me. Say it to the bad guys. But before you zap them.
Catchphrase, then kill.
Yes.
You know, because like I said, there are 3 different movies in this one movie. We could have just had one movie where, like, for example, imagine this, right? The people of Kahndaq, they need help because they're being obviously raided by these terrible military people named Intergang, still one of the worst names ever. But since they're being raided and pillaged for all the resources they have, for all the Eternium, somebody goes looking for Black Adam. When they go and find Black Adam is awoken, obviously an emotionless rage monster. Fine. But then this kid reminds Black Adam of his son. So then Black Adam tries to regain some sort of humanity by hanging out with this kid and like learning all about modern humanity with this kid. And then Black Adam saves the country from this horrible military group and stops them from taking this crown. That would have been it. There was no need for the Justice Society of America. There was no need for any of the extra stuff that they had, but for some reason they shoehorned it in there because they wanted to, I guess, connect it to the rest of the DC universe. And what I really hated too was this like whole like plot point where this Justice Society, you know, they're led by Hawkman. Hawkman, just can't stop emphasizing Hawkman. Hawkman, he's like, you're not supposed to kill people. Killing people is bad. Heroes don't kill people. Are you an actual hero? Because if you're not a hero, then we can't sanction you being here alive on planet Earth. And Black Adam's like, oh, really? Well, I never said I was a hero. And then he's like, and then Hawkman's like, but heroes don't kill people. And then Black Adam's like, well, I do. And it's supposed to be like this really cool line, but it's like, I don't. It was more corny than anything, you know what I mean? And it's strange because, I mean, I guess it's supposed to be calling like morality into question the same way Batman, like, he goes like, well, if you kill people, then you're only just as good as the villains, right? But see, that doesn't necessarily make sense in the context of Black Adam's situation, I would say. Like, his country is being invaded. I think he has full right to kill anybody who has invaded his country and stealing natural resources, but I guess killing them is bad. But I just think that this movie, story-wise, doesn't work because there's too much stuff, and not only because there's too much stuff, but I think a movie can handle multiple plot threads. That's no issue, right? But it's the way that they're handled. For example, if I was to tell you Cyclone's backstory, well, actually, let her tell you.
Thank you. But it's not as cool as nanobots. I'll tell you the wind thing.
Well, the wind thing is called aerokinesis. And the nanobots were injected into my bloodstream by this really messed up scientist who kidnapped me when I was 15.
I'm so sorry.
Whoa, hey!
I just can't help but remember when The Rock was talking about how great this movie was going to be. Remember, he was like, he did that whole ad space where he was saying like, oh, I'm calling out all the superheroes of the DC universe.
Now, what you're going to see here is why the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change. Things will never be the same because the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
You serious?
And you see how it turned out? Like, the movie didn't work. It was just a really boring, slow. Even when the action scenes come on screen, you don't really believe it because it looks like a PS4 game, man. You know, like it it looks like someone's playing Injustice, and it's just like if the effects aren't that great, if the acting is subpar, if the story is all over the place and slow, like this movie is so long and slow. It's 2 hours, but it could have easily been cut down to an hour and a half. If you've ever seen Eternals, I would say that Black Adam is akin to Eternals. I'm talking about Marvel's Eternals. It's like these movies take themselves far too serious. Like you think this is like a magnum opus, but no, you're just making a superhero movie, bro. Like some superhero movies can be a magnum opus, don't get me wrong, but if you don't put the time and effort into it like you should, it's definitely not going to come out that way. Like, you might be shooting for the Batman, but you might just end up with Batman and Robin. And that's a disappointing thing. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to go too long on this because really I didn't even think I was gonna make a video about this movie because I watched it because I was bored, and I ended up being even more bored. And I just think it's really funny because if you think about it, Black Adam was almost the catalyst of what changed the DC universe. Just think about that. Like I don't feel like it was much of a coincidence that they were like, okay, we need somebody to spearhead the DC part of Warner Brothers. And The Rock was like, man, I'll do it. And then, obviously, Black Adam came out, and they're like, ooh, how about you slow your roll, Mr. Rock, sir? And then they hired James Gunn, and then we come to find out that there's not going to be another Black Adam movie. I mean, hey, listen, I think that's probably the best choice they could have made, especially if the second Black Adam was going to be like the first.
The Lord works in mysterious ways. Yep.
Like, this movie is so bad that it changed an entire franchise. Like, that was the nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? It's a really sad thing to see. But you guys tell me what you think down in the comments. Did you watch Black Adam? What did you think of it? See if anybody's got a differing opinion from mine. I personally wouldn't recommend the movie to anybody, but maybe you liked it. Maybe you saw something I didn't. But I think the movie got me physically sick because after I finished it, I was like, man, I'm going to sleep. And I went to sleep for 4 hours, I think. I took a 4-hour nap because I had to, I guess, process the poopy movie I just watched. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you thought of the movie, what you thought of the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.